Now we've been privileged to get to know a lot of what Susannah Morrison is about. It has been great to talk to her family and friends and get to know them also, and to see all the positive influences in her life. So now I want to tell you something Nathan told me a number of years ago. It's an acronym. It's called the PIC roll. Have you ever heard it?
Yes.
It's the PIC roll. You heard it, Mike? Yeah. PIC. The P stands for pretty. Okay? The I stands for intelligent. The C stands for Christian. And the K stands for kind. Okay? Well, now, I heard that at first and I thought, man, why would you put Christian and then kind? I mean, you know, if you profess Christ, you should be kind. But you know, there's some people that do that are meaner than a rattlesnake, you know? And we sure don't want to be that way. No. But Nancy and I believe that Paige fits the PIC rule that Nathan made up. Okay? And and here's what's really important. We believe that they're both striving to please their Heavenly Father. Because you know, some people have asked me what they think makes a good marriage, and I always say, if you take two people and both of them want to please their Heavenly Father, they're naturally going to be good for each other. Okay? And so Paul's letter to the Galatians in chapter 5 verses 22 and 23 talks about the fruit of the Spirit. Now listen to this. Do you think any of these principles could apply to a marriage? Okay? How about love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, thankfulness, gentleness, and self-control? So, because we believe that they will work at daily applying these principles, not perfectly, but they're going to work at it, and I believe that with God's help and grace, because you know, none of us can do and live the way we should without God's help and grace in our lives. So anyway, because of this, I can confidently say that this marriage will be a success. Okay? So, and Nathan already said about Rachel and Kevin, his oldest younger sister. They've been married 16 years today. Yeah. And then his youngest sister, Shara, and her husband John, they've been married 16 years and getting ready to be 17 in September. So I'm thankful for that. So with all that said, I want to say this. So our Heavenly Father conveys to all of us all of this as an encouragement, okay? But it's also an admonition. You know, we need Him, and we need to strive to be the person God wants us to be, and then we'll tend to get along, okay? So I'm going to open this up to some other folks, and I'm going to call on John L. next. I already told him I'll probably be more gracious to his daughter than he's going to be to my son, but we'll see what he has to say.
Just taking you all in. Makes me nervous to stand in front of a crowd. When I get a microphone, somehow it feels better. No, I did make some notes yesterday or the day before, which I will be referring to here just to not miss out on the very important message I have for you. Names. It's been brought up, and I think a lot of us just know Paige as Paige. And, you know, who changes their name? Well, I found out that somebody called her Susannah. I'm like, hey, what's up with that? And I found out she was going by Susannah at her work, and kind of perplexed me a little bit. And So she's a little different.
Didn't you name her?
Yeah. But her first name is Susannah, but we always called her Paige. And Susannah is a mix of her Sue, my mother, and Valerie's mother, and Paige, my Susannah, Sue, my mother. That's it. Susannah Paige was the middle name. That's my sister. Sorry, I get nervous.
Ho, ho, ho.
So now we've got Paige, Pager, Susannah, Susie, Nathan, Nate, Natty. Their names are not unchanging like mine, and I guess I messed up. And my mother told me, your name is Johnelle. Don't let anybody call you John. So, you know, I thought everybody kind of went by that rule. But we must not have set that rule in my house. And it looks like Paige, Susannah knew what was best, and I do very much trust her judgment, because Paige Pick doesn't sound as good. People would say things like, Paige Pick packed a package of pickled peppers. And not to make light of a very good last name, I'm not making fun of it, but I hope and pray that we have lots and lots of little picklets.
That's good.
Who are the pigs? In my lifetime, I discovered and believe now that you can make a lot of inferences and assumptions about a family by knowing a single member.
Should help him write this.
With Nathan, I got to know him initially through church, both Sunday school and playing basketball. And from that experience, I deduced that Nathan was principled, committed, competitive, and passionate. And I liked him. And then I found out he liked my daughter. And if he was already laying the groundwork when he was showing up and coming to our Sunday school class, getting to know us, then along with those adjectives I just gave, I'll add sneaky and clever. Look at my hands are shaking. Can somebody come hold the mic for me?
You're shaking. Look at that.
And I gotta hold this away from me so I can read it. So many months or a year later, after they, I knew they. Yeah, this would be good. Oh, that's much better. So many months after the first time that I knew about Paige and Nathan going out, at least, you know, what I knew, I hear differently tonight, he gives me a call and he wants my blessing on him pursuing my daughter. I was impressed by the call, and at the time of the call, I'm thinking, yeah, good luck, buddy. And that is because I know Paige has standards. She's principled and committed to her faith. And if a line gets crossed, she won't waver. So fast forward, and they've been dating for months, and they've started taking trips, and I noticed they're visiting family members from both the Pick and the Morrison side, and I'm getting a little nervous. What's going on? You know, I didn't know if it was they were getting serious or they just like to go on trips and stay at free places. Then one morning, after being out to breakfast together with Nathan, very respectfully, Nathan asked if he could ask for Paige's hand in marriage. And although I hadn't known Nathan for a really long time, I had kind of background vetted him, eliciting feedback from many people. But most importantly, I was confident that he had been vetted by the woman he would be asking to marry him. So they get engaged. I'm still talking about the picture. So we haven't met anybody on the Pick side, I don't believe. And the Picks come down, Brad and Nancy, and they bring a couple of Nathan's nephews. And I think it was Nathan suggested, hey, you need to put those teeth in. That wasn't you?
You called me and said, hey, I'm going to do something.
Well, that was the last time, but I think you suggested it before. That's how this goes. I'm telling the story right now. So I called Nathan and I'm thinking, well, you know, I was a little embarrassed to do it, to tell the truth, but opportunity only comes once. And I call Nathan and I say, hey, just tell your dad and your nephews that, you know, I have a little dental issue, and just tell them not to laugh at my teeth. And sure enough, I'm out on the dock, they pull up, I pop my teeth in. Brad comes out there first with the nephews, you know, about 30 yards behind. And he comes out there and I introduce myself, he introduced himself, and I could have not had these teeth in with the kind of reception he made. And then the nephew came out and the same exact thing. Nobody cracked a smile, nobody was staring at me. Matter of fact, the nephews wouldn't even look at me. So I could only go for about a minute with the men, and finally, you know, I pop them out, and we have a good laugh, and it was a great introduction to the future in-laws. And even better was, he goes, oh, my wife is coming over later. You have to get her. So, back to when I'm saying when you meet one, you know, you can make some judgments about the group. That told me a lot. And when Nancy saw him, she was looking at me and everybody was laughing and she was just like, what? And it's been great meeting the extended Pick family. I love you guys. I'm looking forward to being related to you by marriage. And I asked everybody to raise their Sonny's glass. And I propose a toast to the Morrisons and Picks and their families. May it further, hold on. May it further the advancement of his kingdom, and may he bless us with at least a few more picklets.
From here, we're gonna kind of open it up, and I'm gonna start with Chutney, and We on our way to South Carolina a few weeks ago, we stayed at his house and had a good time in Savannah, and on up to Edisto for family vacation. So that was kind of an initiation for me, the family vacation. And one night Jack was one of my roommates, and then Elijah was one of my roommates. So I don't know if I was snoring and Jack got tired of me or what. I'm not sure. And then Elijah, he never complained about me, so we made it. But I'll call Chutney up, and then from there, whoever wants to say something, you can just raise their hand and come up. So in order to say something, you can't stay in your seat. You got to come up to the mic. Yeah.
Page, since basically she was born, and but there's just one problem about that introduction, and I'm quite offended. It's not Chutney. So now Nathan knows what he's marrying into. Because I'm going to tell you, of the 3 kids, Paige is the most like John L. in that realm. And John L. is the greatest practical joker on the planet. He is the kid who injected soap into bubble gum and threw it out, and I was like, yeah, and bubbles coming out of my mouth. So, Nathan, it's Charlie. We knew they kept me on it the whole time. It was right. It was actually not John L. who came up with this. This is what Paige came up with this. And so that whole day, they were there overnight. We went hiking together. We did, had a great time. And but it was great. On the drive up, Paige and John L. came up with the plan, and
Paige just did it.
yeah, oh, that's right. Yeah, you did. And then they let me know right after they got there. Said, hey, he's going to call you Chutney. and so they were there, overnight the next day, and and I'm like, okay. And just went on with it the whole day, hiking, and got great pictures and great time, good fellowship. Had a wonderful time.
But your name is Charlie.
Huh?
But your name, my name is
Charlie. It is Charlie. It's close enough. But I do love Chutney. My wife makes a great.
I am John L's sister. I am Aunt Shannon, Paige's favorite aunt. And she goes, we're adding another name to y'all's list. It's Paigey. And we call her Paigey to distinguish her from my sister, Paige, who is the namesake, so it's Paigey, and I'll never, ever stop calling you Paigey. And John L., you explained the name. I was going to explain that. I was so excited when her birth was announced because I thought, another gorgeous Morrison baby, because your children are so darling and beautiful. And she had such big eyes and sweet dimples. And Nana, who is the Sue in Susannah, talked to me and said, I think that Paigey's eyes are so large because she's constantly being startled by Mott. She was always on edge, very nervous, because Mott was very startling to her. She is unique in the Morrison clan because she's the only left-handed Morrison. Of all of us, the only left-handed. She doesn't like seafood. Living in Florida where she gets fresh seafood. She could have it at daily. She doesn't like it. And she looks down on all the other Morrison women. I've always been impressed with Paigey's ability to connect with people. Her love for Jesus spurs her to be helpful and to love people well. Last August, Paigey came to Atlanta to visit. It became clear to me that she was in love with Nathan. If y'all think through what was just described, this was sort of a quick falling in love. But it was very sweet that she was revealing that she was in love with this man. I was having a difficult time in my life because of a family struggle. Paigey kindly made me, and she did it to comfort me. She made me gluten-free cookies. She drew me a beautiful picture of a bird and flowers, and she wrote the following Bible verse on the paper. Look at the birds. They don't plant or harvest or store food in barns, for your heavenly Father feeds them. And aren't you far more valuable than they are? That really touched me. She put her love for me into action to comfort me and encourage me. She loves life, she loves to dance, she loves her family, she loves to encourage people and loves to see the world, and she loves Nathan. And I'm so thankful and excited that Paigey has found a godly man who appreciates her wonderful qualities and wants to respect her and adore her as she deserves. We all look forward to celebrating this union and the joy of a new loving family. I love you.
My name is Rebecca. I'm the maid of honor, also the best friend. You all look beautiful tonight, I must say. I just wanted to say a couple words. Paige and I have been friends for 16 years. I don't know if you were counting, but I was. Not a day goes by that I take her for granted. After we met, we were inseparable. After, no one could make us laugh as hard as we could. Like each other, just going at it. My father, Robert Anderson, can attest to this. But some of my favorite memories with Paige were the days where we spent riding up and down Inouye Island on a tandem bike, dodging traffic, and then rewarding ourselves with ice cream for surviving that. But I just wanted to say that as Paige and I have grown up together, her love and loyalty and her kindness have grown as well. And I'm very proud of the woman that you are today. And I'm really grateful that you found Nathan. And I can tell that he has a very big heart to serve you, and his willingness in that, and his patience. So here's to the happy couple.
Up the bank robbery, the break-in and entering. I'm not going to bring all that up. I'm going to talk about your car. I understand you used to have an Explorer.
Yeah.
And somebody was telling me about it. You drove around with a sofa in the Explorer all summer long.
What?
Yeah. I know you. They said you denied. They said you denied. These sources are very, very credible. But I got to know Nathan. Paige would come to Jacksonville to date Nathan, and she would stay with Sally and I. And so we'd have them over for dinner and whatever. We just had a fabulous time. John L. called. Well, what do you think? Yeah. So they're fine. I think he's a nice guy. Next day, John L. calls. What do you think? Oh, he's fine. He's still fine. But we are really excited. We're glad to be here. Glad to be invited. And we're delighted that you were able to stay with us and we got to know you better. My neighbors particularly loved it. You came back one time with a girlfriend, a statuesque blonde. And all my neighbors, we live in a young neighborhood, and we're the old folks. In fact, I play Santa Claus in the neighborhood. And so we're there with all these young guys. And they said, Dennis, who are those two women?
Good looking.
Yeah, they were interested in Paige and her friend. Who was that, Paige?
Oh, Shannon.
Oh, hey. Good to see you. Yeah. So, but I think they're going to have a wonderful marriage, and I'm very delighted that they found each other. Thank you.
So my name's Jason Knox, and I want my wife to be able to see me, so that's why I'm moving around. So just so grateful to be here, as I know many of you are too and stuff. So I first met Nathan, so when I moved up to DC from Florida, I was told that one of the roommates I would have lived in the basement. And being from Florida, that was exciting stuff. There was a guy living in a basement that I would be living with. And it's hard to believe that 17 years later, the basement dweller would be just such a wonderful friend. A godly man that would be marrying a godly woman. So you have risen so far in that basement. And I'm just so excited to be here. But I'm just so grateful for you and for Susannah, just to know you and be with you over the years, and to see how the Lord's matured you, and to know just what He's done in your life. It's just a wonderful thing. So I was gonna be funny, now I'm gonna start crying. So at this point, what I'll do is I'll just wrap it up, but just to say, I am also a former neighbor of Uncle Dennis's, so I could confirm I was the source for the story. And Nathan he is just the kindest man, and he helped somebody move one time. To give a little bit more color to that story, he helped somebody who we barely knew at the church that we were going to move, and he helped them, and we helped load up the sofa in Nathan's SUV. I didn't have a car, so I was just dependent on, also on the kindness of Nathan. There was a lot of us that were dependent upon Nathan. And so we put the sofa in the vehicle, and we took it to the place, and there wasn't room to move it in this gentleman's house. So it just stayed in Nathan's car for a week. And Nathan was so kind. So I remember being at a certain point, like, this thing would end up on the side of the road if this was my SUV. But Nathan was just so patient and so kind. And it's just a small token, an example of the quality of man that you're getting, that he's just so sacrificial, and he just puts others above him and stuff. So anyway, thank you so much.
But I'm still convinced you did some stashing on my niece. Yeah, I'm confident. And this was such a whirlwind, quick wedding. So what's up with that? Why did it have to happen so quick? It's all you, from what I understand. So that made me a little nervous.
Hold on, Mike, I got a question.
Yeah.
Why'd you bring up the bank robbery and breaking and entering? You said nice, clean?
Yeah, he's clean. He's clean. He wasn't convicted. He wasn't convicted. So, yeah, and I'm thinking, why is he in such a hurry to get married to Paige? And man, y'all are so nice. Let's talk about the big age difference. Who wants to talk about that? So, I was alarmed that an older man stalking my niece. and said, hey, this isn't gonna happen. This isn't gonna work. He must be quite a fella to assume he can do that, right? So, I come down to go fishing, and John L says, we're gonna take Nate fishing. I said, who's Nate? Nate's this guy that's dating Paige. So, Paige, holy cow. I said, okay, so we'll go fishing. So, John L and I are talking about hunting, we're talking about fishing and cars, and, talking about people. And Nate just starts in on his love and devotion to Paige. Really, was that fishing? Yeah. And I'm like, wow, I mean, almost to nauseam, I thought comes to well, that's quite a fellow. But we haven't had that time. I mean, Michael, what did it take? 17, 18 weeks before you got on board with the program, before you married my other niece, Elizabeth, so, we start talking about sports too, and start talking, we're Bulldogs and Gators here in the crowd, and Where'd you go to school?
Liberty University.
Liberty. So the Flames, right? So you're a bunch of flamers, right? What's going on here? I tried not to let it, not fit, but it fits really good. And I will say, I do appreciate you're swinging for the fence, man. I mean, look at Paige. She's the whole package. The whole package. Everything, as your dad put it. So, hey man, you have all the fans here. Hit a home run, brother. God bless you.
Sister and my sister Shara. And I just wanted to share some memories of growing up with Nate. He's always been the caring older brother. And when I look back, I always think of like the times we rode our bikes together. So one time in particular, I remember he had his like blue and white BMX bike. I had my pink and purple little bike, and we'd ride side by side, pretending to be Ponch and John from California Highway Patrol. And then other times we moved around a lot, and we'd go to new schools together, and after a while we were in the same school together, all three of us. But I remember we started a new middle school. Nate was in 7th grade, I was in 6th, and we would ride our bikes together to school through rain and not rain, good weather, bad weather. And then one time he had to ride his bike home, standing up on the pedals because somebody had stolen his seat. So, but anyway, that's what sticks out to me is like he's just always been side by side. Like he's almost like a twin to me in a way. And yeah, I wanted to say too, like I think I'm just excited to see him as a husband because he's just a caring, sweet older brother. He's never been one to like pick on us. Or maybe I forget. I put that on my memory. Like you put those things out and like, oh, kids were great growing up. But yeah, we did run around like the Three Stooges some. And I would say just like my 3 boys run around like they're the Stooges right now. So we had our times of laughing together. But yeah, and I just wanted to encourage you guys with a little bit of marriage. Kevin always gets to tell this story because he's a pastor and he officiates weddings. But he tells about the time that when we moved into our first house and I had ideas about where I wanted the utensils to go. He had his ideas about where he thought they should go. And he always tells it in a different way, but I'm telling the story. Who said that? Up here. I'm telling the story this time. But the utensils, I thought should, or I shouldn't say I thought, but I'm just gonna give it away. I thought they should go in the drawer, not be cluttering things up. He thought they should go out in this like utensil canister. Anyway, because we had a smaller kitchen, we ended up now we have utensils by the stove and in the drawer. So it works out. We worked it out. But during that argument, which these arguments seem so dumb after you look back on them, but looking back, I don't know, the next day when we finally, okay, how are we gonna compromise here? I decided, we're on the same team. And that's something we always come back to and share with each other. When we get into those dumb arguments, we're on the same team, recognizing that our only opponent is Satan, who's trying to divide us. So we're always on the same team. We remind each other of that. And I just wanted to share that with you guys and just pray. We prayed for you for so long, Paige, and we're so excited that you're joining our family. It was so fun to meet you last October and be like, okay, she's one of us tall girls. This is good. I love how you jumped in with our boys and played Mario Kart. she picked the pink Yoshi with the pink cart, and all of it was matching. I'm the green Yoshi usually in our family. But she jumped right in, played Mario Kart. We ran around to all the soccer games, and she was cheering our boys on, and they had so much fun and loved you from the beginning too. So we're excited to welcome you into our family.
Speaking, I don't remember where, oh, there he is. Is my younger brother. So to the pics, I think I need to display that Paige's entire family is not weird. We're not all strange and weird sense of humor. So I'm the serious one, and I just want to let you guys know and try and set the pics at ease that we're not all weird. So I'm Uncle Mark, and Paige is very special to us. She always has. Paige, you are. You're very, very special, and you've always been that wonderful youngest nibbling that we all love. We really do. And so Mike, my brother, was kind of right. We were all a little suspicious of Nathan, and but he has just proven his sincerity and love and the genuineness, and we appreciate that. So on a serious note, I will convey some wisdom that my father-in-law told me before I married Lisa. And he was saying, and I'll pass this on to you, that most men would be ready to take a bullet for their wife. They will jump in front of the bullet. They will do whatever they can to save and protect their wife. And that is what we are called to do. But to lay down our life for our wife is a daily thing. And it's not something that will generally call for that heroic moment. It's the little things that you do every day. Those things that you do to serve your wife. Those things that you do to protect your family on a daily basis. So be ready to protect your family and your wife on that daily basis. And that's the heroic part of being a husband. So God bless you both, and we wish the best for your marriage.
It's been so nice, maybe someone's been a little harder, but the way I show love is hard love, so here it goes. My mom told me, hey, prepare something, a week or two ago. So of course, 5 minutes ago, I'm scrambling. So here it goes. Boy, I'm kind of nervous.
Introduce yourself.
Oh my, I'm Paige's brother. When Paige told me she'd met, the perfect man, I said, great. That's awesome. I know it's gonna sound bad, Paige hasn't had a serious boyfriend. I don't know. So I met Nathan, and I thought, wow, Paige, he really is perfect. If you're looking for someone with the same senior discount. Oh man, yeah. But all jokes aside, Nathan's age just means he has more experience in loving someone as special as Paige. Paige has always been adventurous. Wow, I'm struggling. I'm about to have a stroke. Paige has been adventurous. She, loves the outdoors. And marrying Nathan is certainly an adventure. Right into the early bird special. Nathan, I hope you're ready to keep up with Paige and all her energy. And Paige, I hope you're ready for Nathan's bedtime at 8 o'clock. No, I'm not. Yeah. I mean, I got more, but you guys are perfect for each other, and listen to all the people talk tonight is, it's pretty clear, God has a plan, and it's unfolding in front of us. So here's to Paige and Nathan. May your love continue to grow, and may Ruining the joke. May your love continue to grow, your laughter never end, and may Nathan's naps never interfere with date night. Cheers.
I'm Davis, I'm Paige's cousin. I am the second youngest in the order of the Fulgham grandchildren, Paige being the youngest. So Paige and I have always had a wonderful, special bond where we get bullied, the crap rolls downhill, and we're there to take it at the bottom. But growing up, Paige was extremely feisty in her way. She never hesitated to tell on me and Mont whenever she saw us doing something she found to be unsavory, which was essentially everything. So anytime I, looked the wrong way, Paige was there to make sure that I was in line, and Aunt Valerie was there to discipline me. So I first heard about Nathan. We were out on the boat. I was with Paige, my parents, and I believe y'all were there as well, Aunt Valerie. And Paige looks at me, and she's telling me about this man that she had met at church and talking about how great of a guy he was, his level of integrity, his level of honesty, and she was very interested in you. And then she looks at me and goes, Davis, how old is too old? I said, oh, Paige, don't tell me about some 30-year-old guy that you're dating. He's probably extremely rich and extremely handsome. Thanks, Mom. Nathan, we're only doing it because we like you, man. And if we're not teasing you, we don't like you. It's the full thing. But enough about you, Nathan. Paige, you look beautiful tonight, and you always look beautiful. It's the least interesting thing about you. Your intellect and your competence knows no bounds. So be prepared to keep up, read some books, brush up on that history, brush up on those politics. Paige is a heck of a girl, and you're a very lucky guy. And if you ever do anything wrong, you'll have your second meniscus surgery. Thank you.